want to talk about something called Sunday laws. Now, this is a subject which some of you might wonder, why on earth is this on a legal channel? Well, let me explain to you that there's two views on this. One is biblical and the other one is legal. Now, just for clarity's sake, before I get to the legal, I want to explain to you shortly, very shortly, what's the biblical view on Sunday laws. I must also say to you that if you wish to know more about this subject, please go and read our sponsor, George and James. Go and read his book, his latest book. It's called Oath of Evil, The War on Protestantism. It's a long book, it's about 600 pages. It's all about the Bible, end times, prophecy, that type of thing, even though he's a military author. I think you will enjoy that book. You can always just use my name, just write to him, say to him, I told you to write to him to ask for a copy of his book, and I'm sure that he will give you a copy of the book. If he doesn't, then just let me know. But right, what it comes down to, these Sunday laws, and I'm talking strictly the biblical view now, is that you cannot do anything on a Sunday. If you go into Europe, Poland, Switzerland, Germany, and the old South Africa, and I believe one state in the US, there's nothing you can find open on a Sunday. Everything is closed. The shops are closed. The only thing which you can do, and I suppose that you are expected to do, is to go to church and then spend some time with your family, whether you walk in the mountains or you go skiing or whatever. You're not allowed to go to work. So by law you cannot open your shop, you cannot open your law office, you cannot open your grocery store. And should the police find out that you've done that, they will definitely fine you severely. And they will come after you like you can't believe. Now, you might say to me, so what? That is not necessarily a bad thing. Now, in itself it's not. But from a biblical viewpoint, I'll get to the law views right now, after this. But from a biblical viewpoint, there's people who say that this is also the mark of the beast. And they say that basically because in the Bible, the fourth commandment says you must honor the Sabbath. And the Sabbath is a Saturday, and it's got nothing to do with the Jews. It is in the creation, it's from the beginning, which God said, honor the Sabbath and keep it holy, and then you may not work. And that day was always on a Saturday. And then came the Roman Catholic Church, and they moved this day of Saturday, they moved it over to Sunday, which the Jesuits started calling the Day of the Lord. And now, of course, across the world you find people going to church and Sunday worship. But it's the wrong day, according to the biblical view. And because the Roman Catholic Church claims that it's their mark of authority to worship on a Sunday, and again I refer you to this book, Oath of Evil, where it's set out in great detail. It's seen as a mark of a beast, which is written about in the Bible itself. I don't want to go into that. I just want to talk to you legally now about the problems with this is where state and religion start mixing with each other. It is really a bad thing. It should never happen. And yet it does. As I said to you, right across Europe you find this type of thing, and they're trying to implement it everywhere else. These days they use human rights as the reason. They say that you as a worker, you are entitled to rest, and of course you are. It's just interesting that they choose this one day, the Sunday, not any other day. That to me is the interesting part. And then they're also linking it now to climate change. Now I don't want to go into climate change. Some of you believe in it, some of us think it's just nonsense. But whatever, they're saying now also, you just note what is written in the newspapers. It's like a coordinated effort once you start seeing these links. They are talking about things like climate change, and that the day of rest is needed, to let the earth recover. Now, very interesting, once again, it's on a Sunday, where we never say you should take this day off on a Monday or on a Saturday. It's always a Sunday. And all these dots, of course, start linking together, and then you have to think there's a religious motive behind it. Now, in most constitutions in the world, the mixing of state and church is totally forbidden. Now you might ask me why, and I will tell you why. Just go and look at the Dark Ages. If you look at the Dark Ages, you will find a lot of human rights abuse has taken place there. And what happened there is that the church was in charge. And then they started, of course, influencing the states that things to be done according to their will and not according to the constitution. And now you have a massive problem. Even today, if you go to a place like Saudi Arabia, even Pakistan, other places where Sharia law is, you will find that human rights are not, in any sense of a word, honored. In other words, if you're a gay person and you are in one of these countries, you might be stoned or you might be flogged to death. And if I say flogged to death, folks, I actually mean that, flogged until you're dead in public. You might be beheaded. All sorts of things can happen to you. And what is worse about this is because it's on the legal books, it's on the law books, it's part of a constitution, so to speak, part of the laws. It's legal. And so they can do it. So the church actually becomes the state. And then you have a big problem. And that's why we're so against the idea of a Sunday law. I think you should always keep your religion and your beliefs, keep that aside from your job. So you often find there's people out there who say that Mr. Obama, the former president, but he was a Muslim fellow in disguise. Now, I don't think he was, but let me tell you, even if he was and even if he is, it doesn't matter, because a man has sworn an oath to the Constitution. And it's the same with a judge. As we sit here today, 99% of the US Supreme Court is Roman Catholic. There's not a single Protestant in that court. Almost all of them are Roman Catholic, and the only one who is not is I think Jewish. It doesn't matter, as long as those judges and those people in power keep to the Constitution, keeps to the laws of the land, it's not a problem. But the moment that the laws of the land becomes actually religious, then you have a Sharia type of state. And then you have a total mixture of church and state, and now I think you will understand the problem here. And that is why I'm asking you, if you ever have a chance to vote, whether you want something like a Sunday law, even if it's disguised as a break for workers, or to save the earth, or whatever nonsense they come up with, please vote no. Don't support this, because this will open up doors to other religious influences on society which should not be there. And I will tell you that it's a matter of freedom of choice. I cannot remember Jesus or God ever forcing anybody to go a certain way. If you want to be something else, then go and be something else. And this is also part of the Sunday laws. There should not be laws on the statutes on the books which forces you to close your shop on a Sunday just because some church has decided that is the day of the Lord.